Hey guys, how's it going? Oh, Billy, your window's shrunk. It's all gone wrong already. Okay, let's fix that. We're all good.
It's off the rails.
We're back. Okay,
What's it?
how's it going? Today is episode 51, would you believe, of the VRSpies podcast. I'm in my shed. We've got Billy, Pretty Neat VR, with us, and we have Don, VR Gamer Dude, in his very hot shed as well. Mine's a lot cooler than yours, Don.
Very hot. It is 99 degrees in here. But you know what? I sweat for VR. I sweat.
Sweat for the fans.
Yes,
Absolutely. Yeah, so we were going to start off with a bit of a, we shouldn't call it a little guy shout out. It sounds incredibly condescending.
It's not a little guy.
Littleish guy.
Yeah. Just want to shout
An emerging content creator.
That's a better way to put it. That sounds less like we're massively full of ourselves. But yeah, the emerging content creator we wanted to shout out today is a guy. He's super active in the community and we really love him. And he's Scottish, but we don't hold that against him. VR Martin. He's our second favourite Scottish VR guy. You can't knock Greg off the top spot there, I'm afraid, VR Martin.
Never.
Very close.
We'll always be the VR Scotsman in our world. So.
But yeah, he's just a great guy. He's just very active on Twitter, and he mainly does, I think, PSVR stuff. But again, don't hold that against him.
Yeah. A lot of PSVR, and I tell you what, he's one of those guys that is just so positive in the community and so uplifting to everyone else. So it just felt fitting that we kind of uplift him a little bit. So.
Okay, I've just been told we've got a lot of echoes, and it looks like the echo, I'm sorry, Billy, is coming through your line for some reason, so you're going to have to sort out your audio. I've just muted you on audio there, Billy, because we're getting all of our voices coming back through Billy's feed, so sorry about that. Even though it sounds fine on Skype, it's gone crazy. I don't know if you've got a headset or something, but we'll sort it out. Technical difficulties, so sorry about this.
Yeah, I'm using it.
It wouldn't be our show without technical difficulties, man.
Let's see. Billy, you okay? Try it again.
It's
okay. Test.
I'm but I don't know.
Okay, I think
I plugged the head. I don't know why it would have an echo. It's not coming through. The sounds not coming through my phone, speakers, headset.
I think it's still. No, I think it's fixed now. I think we've got no echoes. It's looking fine now.
Okay. This is good. Oh. The only echo I like is like Echo Arena, and Echo Combat, Echo.
Actually,
those are the echoes I want.
Weirdly, I think actually I think the echo is somewhere between Don and Billy. Yeah.
Really?
It's whenever you speak, Don, it goes into Billy's echo, but I don't echo through Billy's feed. So this is a bit weird.
Weird.
Yeah, weird.
Without headphones, is it still doing it?
Let me try that. So, you say something, Don.
I am going to say lots of things.
Yeah, it's massively echoing through Billy's only.
Weird. That's weird.
Weird. Okay.
Well, you guys talk about VR. I'll switch mics.
I don't think it's. Oh, okay, Billy's dropped.
It's probably me. I'm on my phone. I can't even hear you guys that well. So, but.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I don't have internet yet. I just moved into a different house. And I think the only thing I wanted to say, I guess, was on the agenda was for Blood and Truth as a demo out on PSVR, so you can try it before you buy it. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
Okay, mate. Cool. Good to hear from you.
All right, I'll get on.
Sorry, Billy.
I think it's just going to be too rough. Sorry about that.
No, we'll sort it out for next time. We didn't have time to test, but
yeah.
That's cool, man. All right. Thanks, Billy. I'll see you soon.
Love you guys.
Love you. Okay. This is where we discover that in fact it was not Billy. It was you, Don. So let's just see if we still got this echo going on. Say something. Now I've got nothing from you at all, Billy. Sorry, Don. Try that again. We can edit this afterwards, of course. This is fine. And then there were two. Well,
okay, how about now?
I can hear you fine now. Yeah.
I was trying to clear. Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay. And it looks like there's no echo. Has the echo gone? Can someone confirm this in the chat?
Yes. Can please somebody start the chat off and tell us if I'm still sounding like ass?
It wasn't really you, I don't think. I'm going to leave Billy's slightly frozen face there, just in the bottom corner. And
I think we should, dude. I think it's great because it's like it's still framed on just the perfect smile. You know, you gotta love that mug. You know, and there he is. Billy has now shown up in the chat. So, all right, guys. Sorry for the rocky start as usual. You know, it wouldn't be our show. It's unscripted. It's unplanned. You know, we just love VR. We get together. So sometimes we have these little technical glitches, and that's kind of the charm of our show.
That's what we say is the reason. Yeah, that's what we say. We say it's the charm, but in reality, it's just incredibly unprofessional. You know, let's just call it what it is.
Pretty much. So,
no, it's fine.
So okay, so we already talked a little bit about VR Martin, and you know, we got a little quick input from Billy there on Blood and Truth. So what else is going on this week?
Well, I don't know. I mean, one of the games that's really kind of grabbed my attention in the last few days was a game called Defector. I don't know if you've had a chance to check that one out. But
you know, I tried to check it out. Currently, as most people know, my Oculus Rift is still down. So I am kind of limited to my Odyssey Plus and my Pimax. I will give a massive shout out to the Revive devs. They came together with a day one fix for non-Oculus headsets, since Defector is, you know, an Oculus exclusive. Unfortunately, you get to the part where you have to nod and it won't pick up on the nod mechanic in either one of my headsets. So that's as far as I've actually seen the game. Yeah. So man, I'm itching to hear is it good? Is it bad?
It's very good.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's very good. Okay. And yeah, there's quite a few reviews out there. One of the most fun series I've actually watched is Walk the Plank. So Walk the Plank used to be called Loki Games. We talk about him quite a lot on here because he's a very, very good YouTuber. But he's done a series, Defector. You've just got to watch that. But one of the reasons I'm bringing up Defector, because effectively you play as a spy. You're sort of chasing bad guys through back streets, and there's one scene which has really got people wound up. I don't like to use the term snowflake because it's massively overused and it's slightly insulting. It's used as a kind of left-wing insult. It's also used as a right-wing insult. So it's just generally...
It's used as an insult in general, yeah.
Polarizing term. But anyway, let's not call it snowflake. We'll call it something else. But there's a lot of people very upset about a couple of scenes in there. There's one where a bloke's sort of tied to a chair and you have to sort of beat him up a bit to get information out of him, which is like, and someone posted something on Reddit saying how unbelievably fun it was to beat up a man tied to a chair, and that got people really upset.
I could see where people get triggered on something like that.
There was a little bit triggering. Yeah, that's the word, isn't it? Triggering. And people got very upset about the idea that, you know, you'd have fun beating someone up tied to a chair. But let's be honest, that does sound quite fun. I mean, I haven't got to that bit yet. But
you know, okay. I mean, I'll be real on that. Say I've had a really bad day at work. I mean, sure, it's virtual reality. I mean, it's not like I'm doing it in real life.
Exactly. What did we do in the 80s? We put the picture of the person that annoyed us on the dartboard and we threw darts at them. We're not actually throwing darts at them.
You got that little boxing clown for little kids?
You put a little photo on the boxing thing and you punch that. But you know, this is just
Boppo the clown. Yeah.
It's simulated violence. It's not for reals. But yeah, it kind of upset the community a little bit, which I always love it when people get really kind of, you know, really triggered about something. I don't know. They're sort of slightly.
I'm right there with you. I mean, like, grab the popcorn, man. I'm just gonna sit back and I'm just gonna like watch it all explode from all sides, you know. But I mean, I can see. I mean, I can kind of see both sides of it, you know. But I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it's virtual reality. This is not reality. Nobody's punching people tied to chairs. Nobody's murdering and slaughtering people.
Not on my live stream. I'm not doing that anyway.
Well, yeah. You reserve that for the other dark web live stream. Yeah.
Yeah, so, my dark lifestyle, which I don't talk about very much. So, John, we should have led with the most important thing this week, which is, of course, Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, man, our good buddy Caleb Reality Check VR was selected to go to China to compete in the World Cyber Games. So we now have a professional esports athlete amongst the VR spies.
Did
And
you
I
do
got to
air
tell you,
quotes then, Don? Did you do air quotes when you said athlete?
I didn't
I
do
spotted an
air
air
quotes
quote.
because okay. But anyway, the whole point is that Caleb got to go to China and he got to compete in the Final Assault tournament at the World Cyber Games, and I unfortunately did not get to see any of his matches because, well, China is their daytime is our nighttime over here, so it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm really hoping to watch those on the playback. Unfortunately, he did not make it through to the finals. I believe it was sadly it's Bradley won the tournament there, and yeah, congratulations to him. But really interested to hopefully next week to hear Caleb's take on the entire trip and the entire experience of getting to compete in a competition like that.
I think even though we know Caleb is incredibly competitive, I'm sure he just had a lovely time and met some lovely
Oh
people. I
gosh,
saw stuff on
gosh, could
Instagram
you
and he seemed to have
imagine?
a great time. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine? I mean, that's the dream, man. I mean, going to conventions is one thing, but getting to go to something like the World Cyber Games or to fly to a major country like that I would love to do something like that. So,
okay. That's
and
good.
and I also want to shout out. It wasn't just Caleb. We have Cherry from Kaz and Cherry
Oh,
competed as
right. Okay.
well,
I didn't know
and
that.
yeah, she also did very good. I think she was representing the Netherlands. So they kind of had it broken down to like these guys were representing the U.S. You were kind of representing your home country.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I got to give a shout out to her too. I did get a chance to watch her opening a battle, and right up to the end, man, she fought and she held it in there. But unfortunately, she got taken in that one as well.
Yeah.
So
But you know what I love about this is that this is a contest where they can afford to fly in all these people and host it, and it must have been tremendously expensive. And Caleb,
oh, I can imagine.
okay, he won his way into that or whatever, but that's a reasonably small contest, and they've thrown a lot of money at it, and that's really good to see. So hopefully
Well,
more
and
comes.
I mean, kind of keeping on the subject of VR esports, I mean, esports has grown, and I mean, it has become a huge thing. I work on a university, I mean, campus, and you're starting to see university campuses start to have esports teams as part of their athletic curriculum.
Mm,
You're starting to see all that. Well, a lot of that has been always centered around the traditional 2D pancake games. So getting in on the esports teams right now in VR is not tremendously difficult to do.
mm.
If you find a game that has esports potential and you find out that it is, part of the league, you get in there, you practice it, you got a better than average shot at getting in. I'm not saying that it's easy, but it's not as hard as say getting in on playing, something like Counter-Strike or, something that people have been playing for
Absolutely.
years and have
Yeah.
already established, so we're kind of at that ground floor once again. VR is opening up so many new opportunities in so many different areas. I mean, esports, and then obviously all the stuff we always talk about, like simulation, training, things like that. So, I could talk about this and rant for hours, but I just think it's awesome to see that coming. Where we're actually becoming more athletic. I mean, you're putting on that headset and you're actually competing versus just
Yeah.
twitching.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I've played a lot in Onward and Contractors, as you guys know. I talk about it endlessly, really, but I absolutely love those kind of games. And to form a team in there and actually compete in some sort of league, they're
well,
crying out
yeah,
for people to do that. They're absolutely crying
they
out for
really
people. There's
are.
not enough
Uh,
teams.
Another little shout out, Vivian. She's got a team that
The
competes in Onward.
Kilettos.
The Kilettos,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, and and she's having a blast with that. I don't know why we don't have a VRSpies team. I don't know. We got to talk
I
about
just
that.
don't think we have enough time, Don. But maybe we should
Yeah, I know.
do a kind of
I
a
don't know.
quick hour after the podcast every Sunday. Maybe that would be
Maybe.
the way forward.
Yeah.
In your
Once it's not 99 degrees in here.
You're literally
So
sat in a Swedish sauna there. That's unbelievable.
I am. I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop like 5 pounds before the end of the podcast. This is great. I'm bringing back the VR fitness series with no VR. I'm just going to sit here, talk VR, and sweat and lose weight. So,
That's it. But I'm in
but
the UK, of course, and it's midsummer here, and other side of the world, and of course it's 21 degrees Yeah, centigrade. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. Who knows?
I don't know. I know it's a massive heat wave everywhere. I mean, we've got literally places like New York are declaring states of emergency and opening up cooling centers.
Jeez.
Yeah, a massive heat wave hitting most of the U.S. this weekend, and Missouri, unfortunately, is kind of at the bottom of it. So outside my door, a heat index is like 102, 103 right now. So, I mean, it's insanely hot out there.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, thank God, thank God for air conditioning. So,
yeah.
Anyway, but this isn't an air conditioning show. This is a VR show. And, we were talking about losing some weight. And I actually lost a lot of weight this week. I became weightless in the Apollo 11 experience.
Nice segue. That's a commendable segue.
I tried. I always try to kind of, keep it on track. But we did have a historic event go down this week, guys, and that was the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing. And, I thought it was truly fitting and probably kind of cheesy and schlocky that I would do that. But I pulled out Apollo 11, and I featured that on my channel this week in its entirety. And, man, I got to tell you, I have seen that app grow from its infancy, and that is such a cool thing for people like us that we've been around long enough to see these apps that are now super polished, but we know where they started. I've seen it in every headset, but this time I'm gonna give another shout out. I know I sound like a fanboy the last couple of weeks, but I tried it in the Pimax with the wide field of view and the crisper, higher resolution videos, and oh my God, I have never seen that app look that good.
Well, that's great.
I mean, it was just breathtaking, and the sequence where you're actually riding the rocket, the actual launch of Apollo 11, just being in that cockpit again, but actually having that peripheral. So I'm seeing these guys over here doing their stuff with the buttons, but I can still see out the window. It just was a game changer. So, with that in mind, that was yesterday, the official anniversary. But if you have not checked out the Apollo 11 HD remake of the original Apollo 11 VR experience, I highly recommend head over to my channel, take a look at the video. If you see it, you like it, stop right there. Don't watch the whole thing. Just go grab a copy from the link in my description and experience that for yourself, because it is, in my opinion, one of those must-see pieces in VR.
Now, there's another app as well, which is kind of quite fitting to talk about, and they've just released an anniversary edition, and that's Lunar Flight. Now,
yes,
Lunar Flight,
yes.
I guess people quite new to VR, Lunar Flight might pass them by as, maybe a little quirky title, something quite interesting. Effectively, you pilot a lunar module. You have to sort of do a series of like missions involving sort of landing places, getting out, fixing things, that kind of thing. What is great about Lunar Flight is that I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Don, I reckon that was one of the very first polished VR games to ever come out.
You are not wrong.
Yeah, I mean that was the first.
That was DK1 era. Okay,
Yeah.
That was like the first time I ever sat in a cockpit game was Lunar Flight, and I still have vivid memories of that, even with the low resolution and the 3 DOF and the huge freaking marble-sized SDE. It was one of those first crap moments of presence that I ever got with modern VR, starting with the DK1. Yeah, it was. And I got to tell you, I've got it downloaded. I have not played it once again. I saw it hit the Oculus Store as well. I've got it on Steam. I am definitely going to be firing that up in the Pimax to see if I have that same, wow from the expanded field of view. But, the fact that it got it on the Oculus Store finally after all these years, just awesome. And I'm really happy to see that happen because I love that app.
It's good. I just wonder how much of it is sort of slightly nostalgic, because when you think about how many, I mean, it's a very realistic simulator, and it's incredibly hard with the yaw controls and pitch and yaw, and you have to get everything perfect. But it is like an original 1970s 2D lander game, but in virtual reality. It's like that kind of challenging type game. But I still rate it as one of my favourite games. But there you go. Sorry,
somebody
my mum.
Mute their phone. Oh, well, you always got to answer as your mom. Come on now. So,
no
but yeah, and you've got Lunar Flight it just you got to check it out. I mean, that's all I've got to say.
Yeah,
I mean, if you have a VR headset, it's a cheap game. It's not going to break the bank. But man, if you want a challenge, do that. It is not easy, and you will learn how to land that little module.
So yeah, fantastic. And yeah, I'll definitely check out Apollo 11 HD. I haven't checked that out yet, and that's, again, as you say, it's one of those ones we kind of watched develop over the years, and it's really just nice to see that, isn't it? But
well, it is. I mean, in general, just I mean, I don't know. I wear that as kind of a badge of honor. I mean, I always talk about being the old guy VR or whatever, but it's the fact that we have gotten to see all of these talented developers, all of these companies with their innovations, and all of this from the very beginning. I mean, that doesn't come around a lot. You don't really get to see the birth of an industry and be a part of it, and actually see it grow and see these apps. I mean, another big one I'm going to give a shout out to is Big Screen. They're launching big screen TV, man. You're going to be able to just drop into big screen with your friends, sit in a huge IMAX theater and watch freaking TV.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I remember the first iterations of that, and it was just this little one room, and then you could kind of sit in there with like maybe one other person, and then you look at VR chat, and then just all of these apps that we've gotten to watch grow over the years. It's like, I know I'm getting like kind of old, like, but
not at all. I understand.
It gets me when I think about that. So
yeah, they've certainly come a long way. Absolutely. Actually, since we're talking about kind of new developments, I know it's not particularly new, and people who follow me on Twitter, and there's a few people in the channel that follow me on Twitter, saw my Oculus Quest review just recently, and I'm sort of coming in at the Oculus Quest in a slightly less fanatic way. I didn't ever really want one. I never bought one. And so I've just acquired a few for a work project, and this is work as in my other life, nothing to do with virtual reality. I've managed to shoehorn virtual reality into my real day job, which frankly is amazing. And everyone at work's like, this is brilliant, what a brilliant idea for a project. So I'm going to do this kind of telepresence project with engineers, so engineers can fix problems remotely using telepresence and using virtual reality. And so I'm going to try and do it with the Oculus Quest and with some clever software. Anyway, long story short, I just went through the process of setting it all up, playing with it, played a few games, sort of just got a feel for it. And I wrote a very quick Twitter review. But the long and short of it is that for people like us that have VR, I couldn't get terribly excited about the Quest. I mean, I haven't done the thing you've talked about, Don, which I am very tempted to do.
I was about to interject on that.
Which is the kind of the holodeck, the idea that you go out into your backyard or you go into the middle of a field and you just have that kind of infinite ability to keep walking. And I imagine that will be something just clicks in your mind as well. This is fantastic. But I thought as a standalone device, it's a very capable thing, but it wasn't really made for me. I think it's a fantastic device. For the price, it's unbelievable what you get, and brilliant for mass market appeal. I just couldn't quite get past how clunky things felt. I just felt that the controllers were incredibly fragile. I didn't like them, compared to the touch controllers. The touch controllers are just, work of art. They just work perfectly. They're solid. These just felt really weak by comparison. It kind of irritated me. The tracking wasn't perfect. I know people say that I must have had a bad experience, but I couldn't get the tracking perfect. It would glitch every so often. There was a lot of things I liked about it, a lot of things I didn't like about it, but on balance, I couldn't understand why I would want one. And I know it's not really made for me. I got to also acknowledge that. This is not a device made for someone that already has a premium VR setup, right? I need to be looking for the next big thing, which is probably going to be Index. But Quest, 100% recommend it to people who don't have VR now. Definitely. Brilliant entry point. It's the gateway drug into virtual reality, no doubt. It didn't wow me to the extent I thought it would. There you go.
Yeah, and that is, I've demoed it to several people, and I've had those reactions, and it does tend to come exactly from what you just said, Chris. The people who already have GTX 1080 Ti's and above and high-end PC VR setups and stuff like that, they go, yeah, okay, I can see the potential in this. Yeah, you don't have to have the PC. It's really been the newcomers. And you know, I've been demoing VR on Missouri State University campus for years. I've carried every iteration of mobile VR with me to work every day. No joke. I mean, I've carried my Gear VR when it was the thing. I carried my Go when it was the thing. Now I'm carrying my Quest because I want to put it on as many heads as I can. Well, the kids that have never seen VR are more blown away by the Quest than anything I've ever shown them, because they do have that 6 degrees of freedom. They have hands, you know, but those are things that we've taken for granted. Why I got so excited when we were in our pre-show chat is exactly that, and you kind of touched on it. The thing that Quest for me brings to the table is that holodeck experience and the ability to infinitely walk. I mean, you can go into developer mode, you can turn off the boundaries, and you can just walk. If you find a place big enough, you'll never hit the boundaries, you know. Then you've got nice experimental apps. I'm going to give a quick shout out. I haven't fully played it yet. I just jumped in just a second just to see if it would work, because it's a side-loaded app, but there's an app called T for God, and it uses redirected walking.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
I tell you what. Yeah, I tell you what, something like that with that ability to be tetherless and not tethered to that PC, that's when we're going to start having game-changing experiences. And it's something clicked in my brain when I took more than 6 steps. It is on that 7th step, okay? Because I've been so used to having 6 steps this way, 6 steps this way in each direction for the entire time I've been using modern VR, because we've been relegated to living rooms and things like that. I took that 7th step, and it was like an explosion went off in my mind. That for that split second, I had real presence. Presence so hard. I haven't felt it like that in a long time, that I was actually in that space for a split second, you know. And it's those little micro presence moments that, you know, us old timers it's like chasing the dragon. You know, it's like, what's going to bring me to these little micro moments of presence? And that did it. So that right there is the only argument I could really give to, you know, someone like you that is a high-end PC VR user. If you haven't had that experience, at least do that. That's where you will find Quest has its place.
So talk about,
and of course, adoption.
For people that don't know what it is, explain what redirected walking is, because I think that's one of the most exciting things in virtual reality that hasn't been fully exploited yet.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, and there's reasons it hasn't been fully exploited, because you really need a larger space in order to do that correctly.
Yeah, about 3x3 really
kind of needed. Well, and you kind of needed inside-out tracking as well, because you don't want to get out of bounds of the trackers. But redirected walking is basically where developers can cause slight curvatures of the slight bends of the camera angles and things like that to keep you moving away from the edges of the boundaries. And because you're seeing it in the headset, your brain doesn't really register that it's just moving slightly. And you never kind of hit your edge. So it kind of takes your play space and transforms it into an area where you can just walk and walk and walk. Well, on a corded headset, obviously that's not going to work very well. You're going to be turning in circles. You're going to have a mangled mess of cord. The first times I experienced it were with the TPcast wireless on the Oculus. You know, anytime you cut that cord and you get something that shows off redirected walking, it changes the game.
See, Don, you absolutely hit the nail on the head. That's what I want to see. I want to see, and I don't think you can do it with the Oculus because of the way the room scale Guardian system works. But it would be great to see something that allowed you to kind of, I think if you mapped out with your Guardian system like a massive area and had some kind of programmatically generated redirected walking game, that would be amazing. You know, the ability to just keep walking through a maze, you know, something a little like imagine if they redid you know, what's that maze horror game, what's that one called, you know, the one I'm talking about, the classic that one.
God. Yeah, that one. Yeah,
but
one.
Just something like that, just like use as much of the space and make your Guardian system use like the entire downstairs of your house and just make it you're walking through a haunted castle, shit's jumping out at you, you're hitting it with a sword. That's what I want. I want that.
Okay, so like in a small way, kind of back to the quest for a minute. So I actually did something that I hadn't tried last night, and I did in some ways make the entire living area and my studio area and the entryway hall and the kitchen into one large play space. And it was all mapped out around my furniture with the Guardian. Now, obviously, the games that I'm playing don't utilize that. So I could see where you're saying if they just took that map, because I could map the whole downstairs of my house, I think that would be brilliant. That would just be phenomenal.
It was Unseen Diplomacy, pretty neat putting that.
Unseen Diplomacy.
We talked about it last week. Yes. I don't think we ever got the name of it, but yeah, Unseen Diplomacy was the first game to truly use that redirected walking.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think games that can scale that up, I think that's a real winner. That to me is what honestly, I think I'd buy a Quest for that. That and a properly nice polished release of Onward into Quest, which apparently is coming. So
I was going to say that you've already got Pavlov on it.
You can sideload Pavlov, right?
Yeah, you can sideload Pavlov, and I got to give a shout out to that too. If you are a Quest owner, man, hit up SideQuest. That is amazing app and web interface. It gives you control over your Quest. A lot of the stuff that you have to do with ADB, you can actually do through SideQuest. You've also got games on there like Doom, Quake. I mean, things that you're not going to see on the Oculus Store right now, and completely free. So, man, grab a copy of SideQuest if you're a Quest owner. You will not regret it.
Yeah. I suppose, if I were to dig deeper to it, I think if I travelled more, I could imagine like using a hotel room and just playing Pavlov in the hotel room. That would be enough for me to justify getting a Quest. But it's not really aimed at me. I think if you've got PSVR, or if you don't have a PC powerful enough to run a VR setup, definitely Quest. I would 100% recommend it. I don't want to be like I'm down on something I feel is one of the most exciting things for the mass market, but it just wasn't for me, So
no. And like I said, it's to each his own on that one. Like I said, I love my Quest, but I love it for way different reasons. If I have a choice, obviously, I'm going to go right to my PC every time because when I do VR, I want it to push boundaries, man. I want it to be like in my face, blistering visuals. That's what I want. So, then obviously that's not what you're going to get from a Quest. You're going to get a completely different experience. But it's also, we do have to give one shout out to things like the Go and the Quest. They're building adoption of the VR market. And you said it, Chris, it's a gateway drug. So, it's like, hey, kid, come here. Want to see some VR? Hey, come here. Put this on. All right, now go tell your friends, and next time you come back, I got something better for you, but it's going to cost a lot of money, okay? So, that's kind of...
I got the feeling you've got another job on the side there, Don, that we don't know about.
No, I've never done that. But you get where I'm going with it. Awesome for that they are. This is I want to say that somebody leaked some sales numbers that initially so far there have already been over 1 million Quests sold. Wow. So that's we're finally starting to get into numbers where companies are going to start paying attention to VR, and that as enthusiasts is the end goal, and that's what we all want, right? We're not going to get those AAA games until we have headset sales that are actually in those millions. So whoever's going to get VR on people's heads is going to actually expand the market for all of us.
Yeah, very true, very true. We've got a bunch of people in chat tonight, and we usually do like shout outs straight away, but we've been a bit lax tonight. But we've got Paul Byrne, we've got Pittsburgh Joe, which is lovely to see Pittsburgh Joe in there.
Yeah, E minus, we've got Eric.
We've got Keith. Got loads.
Yeah, we got Hugsy is in here. Lord Zone, man, I haven't seen him in forever.
Oh, Lord Zone, is Lord Zone in here? Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. I'm just scrolling back up. I don't know if he's still in here, but hey guys, thanks for stopping by, man. And we got Billy throwing out keys, man. He's like
Billy's throwing out Flappy Bird keys.
Yeah,
we can't get enough of Flappy.
Sunday, come down to the VRSpies and get your free game keys. Yeah. So
how many did we give away last week? It was like 55 keys. It was crazy.
55 keys. It was amazing. So
we were just firing them out.
We're gonna try to keep doing stuff like this, guys. So.
Yeah, seriously, guys, if you want a key, because there's no way all those keys were sucked up. So if you go and watch last week's podcast, which is podcast number 50 on our channel, just look through the chat and just grab some keys out, because seriously, there's an absolute ton of keys that have not been
not just
claimed yet,
Flappy Bird, man. We were all like dumping keys.
We're firing them out, left and right.
It's like, you get a key, you get a key, you get a key.
We were the Oprah Winfrey of VR.
So, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, dear me.
We just shouted out everybody. So, we haven't asked the chat, is there any questions for
you? Oh, yeah, we got to get some questions.
Week? Yeah, man. What do you guys want to know? So
we didn't expect to run this long, to be honest, did we, Don? To be honest, because we haven't got Caleb, we haven't got Billy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, but we got Spies. It's plural, So as long as there's two of us, I think it works. You guys tell us. Do you guys want to see the show when it's just two of the Spies? Do you want all the Spies on? What makes it good for you?
As long as you're there, I think that's enough appeal. That's enough sex appeal. For the cast.
I
just
try.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I try. So, well, you know what? I'm gonna just do some non-VR fluff for a minute because
I know what you're talking about.
I am like so excited right now. I am like a giddy freaking child. So if you haven't heard or seen it, oh my God, drop everything you are doing right now, hands down, and find a link to the Picard trailer that dropped at Comic-Con yesterday. That shit sent chills down my spine, man. As a Trek fan, I literally, there was almost a tear. So I don't know if you guys are all Trek fans, but you guys know I am. And man, I got to tell you, CBS is going to do this one right. The production values are there. We are going to see next gen characters, which was completely hush hush. Nobody knew that was coming. But we're going to have Troy, Riker, Data. You're going to have Jerry Ryan revising her role as 7 of 9. You're going to have that. I don't know what his name, but the kid who played Hugh the Borg, the first one that actually became like non-Borg. So
7 of 9. 7 of 9 has not aged at all. That actress.
No, she's
that's
Jerry
scary.
Ryan's looking pretty good. So good genetics, I guess.
Data, however, that takes a bit of explaining how he got so old and chubby looking. But let's not. Dwell on that.
I could totally see in the last shot of that trailer, I'm glad you brought that up, there was so much pancake makeup on Prince Spider's face to make it look smooth. It wasn't even funny. So. But, he was also, it showed him in pieces. So they can probably kind of explain that away, that maybe all the pieces didn't go back together right, or, that they artificially aged him or something. I don't know. But I'm just happy to see it coming back. And, now we've got people talking about other stuff in the chat, like Keith Hyman here is like Top Gun Maverick, question mark. And that they're milking some cash cow from long ago that just, please don't.
The trailer looks pretty good, I gotta say.
It looked all right.
I didn't even like Top Gun.
I didn't either.
Wasn't my cup of tea. I don't know.
I think the best thing I used Top Gun for was I used to use the DVD for testing my sound system. In the beginning of that, with all the Highway to the Danger Zone and the planes flying, all So.
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
But now I will say, since we're on the topic of trailers, I did see a bunch of the top 10 trailers for things that are coming out of Comic-Con, and since we're kind of both older guys, this would be from our generation. They're bringing back Creepshow, dude. So,
all right, okay.
Super excited to see the new Creepshow as well.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And yeah, we did talk about Defector earlier, Bradley Boy Blue. So.
Yes,
apologies, you missed that one, but we were more talking about the kind of snowflakey reaction to it and the triggering rather than the game itself, which is a very good game. So Defector is definitely one to check out if you've got an Oculus. It's exclusive at the moment, and they're working on the porting of that, of course, with the Revive.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I'm gutted. I mean, I'm gutted right now that it doesn't work in Revive past the nod mechanic. I think there is a save file. I think I saw it on the Pimax forum somewhere that you can upload somebody else's save, but I don't know how much more of the game I would miss. So it'd probably be some of the, the only critique that I am seeing about Defector, and I'm going to jump back in on that for a minute, is some people think that the dialogue sequences are boring. I don't know. What's your take on that, Chris? Because I actually like dialogue sequences in VR.
Yeah, it's not like a pancake game. I think the dialogue sequences, I think, have been done quite well. I kind of know where they're coming from. Ultimately, it is an on-rails game, right? So that has limited appeal and limited replay value in reality. It's a bit like watching a very, very cool movie. You probably wouldn't watch it again unless you played it, Maybe that's not fair, but
I hate to interrupt, but we have royalty on Hard 4.0 sighting in the chat. What is up, my brother?
It is.
You should get your butt in here.
A Norwegian.
But he's saying the new Lion King is the one to watch, and the new Jay and Silent Bob. And yes, oh my God, if you haven't seen that trailer, I am super excited. Oh, wow. There is a new Jay and Silent Bob, man, and it is like totally the original movie just redone with like a different take on it. But they got everybody to come back. I mean, they got everybody to come back for this one, and I cannot wait to see this. So
Billy's throwing out PSVR keys now. He's just.
Oh my God, he's cleaning house.
Yeah.
But anyways, shout out to Game Hard. We love you, man. Missing you, brother. So come and join us sometime.
Yeah, Game
Hard.
That would be awesome. Seriously, yeah. We're back on using Skype now. This is kind of old school.
Yeah, we are.
But it works.
It's like old school.
We're Brady bunching it. I've got Don over there. Let's try and do a virtual fist bump. Does that work?
Okay, let's see if we can do that.
The other way.
Wait.
That way.
Wait, hold on. Wait, how do we do this?
You have to go to your left. This ain't gonna work, is it?
Left? No, probably not.
Okay, well, maybe that worked. We'll find out.
We could do a virtual cat fight here. Yeah. So there you go.
All right, so we're gonna wind it up. So what any questions people have, fire them into chat now.
Any last minute stuff?
Any last requests?
Anything going on?
AMA.
So, while we're waiting for questions, you got anything cool coming up this week, Chris?
No, I'm just riding my bike, trying not to die, I think is the main order of business. Every time I get on it, this is bad, right? This sounds like I really shouldn't be riding a motorcycle, right? But I get on this thing, and it's like a 1200cc bike. And as I start to pull away, I have to stop, and then I have to have a small panic attack. Then I breathe, I get over that, I take a few deep breaths, and then I go. And that seems to be my startup sequence on the bike, having a small panic attack. That can't be good, can it? So I've really got to ride it more and get used to it. And the other day I went out with, I've got like this combat helmet, which kind of makes me look like a stormtrooper. And I took the front guard off and I made it open face. And basically, I went down the road on it, and I looked like one of those kind of YouTube videos of like a bulldog with its head out the window.
Nice.
I was doing that all the way down the road. It was honestly the most unattractive thing. There's people in cars laughing at me, overtaking me as I'm doing 40 miles an hour with my face flapping. So you live and learn with these things. But
that's funny.
I'm getting there. But yeah. Oh, and it's good to see Huck on here as well. I didn't give a shout out to Huck and Mark Ledson. Loads of people.
Yeah, see Mark in the chat. Yeah. There you go.
Andrew's saying, where have I been? I don't know, Andrew. Where have I been? I've been here mainly, in my shed. I've been having a lot of building work doing. People are demolishing my house and rebuilding it, so that's good. Yes.
Yeah. I'm in my shed too, and it's still 99 degrees in here. So.
Yes. And you need to fix that, Don. Are you going to mention how you're going to fix that?
I am.
Because you know why I'm nice and cool in here? Is because I have lovely insulated walls, which stop the heat.
Yes, Chris.
That's what you need.
I need to insulate the walls. Well, I had originally planned on doing all that before I started using the space, but it was just so enticing once I got the air conditioning run. And Sundays is the only day I would do it during the day. I can say that, just with the unfinished state it's in right now, it is completely usable after 7 p.m. So I come home from work, I kind of vent the heat out, I come out here, I start the air conditioner, let it run for about an hour or two, and then I come out here and it's a cool, crisp 72 degrees the entire night. It's just right now with this heat wave, oh my God. But yeah, we are going to probably, you guys know I ran that GoFundMe. Some of the people in the chat might actually be some of the people who donated to me. So I'm going to throw a little poll out there. Obviously, we did not hit enough to get the intended target, which was the Valve Index. Needed to hit 750 for that. I only hit 400. $100 on the GoFundMe. So, I'm going to just basically see if everybody who donated is cool with me maybe shifting the money that they donated to helping finish out the studio. So if any of you are in chat, throw it out there, man, but definitely if we could get some insulation in here and get some walls put up, I think that we would finally have a usable space 24/7, and I could put out a lot more VR content that way, just saying. So
well, that is your VR room. That is the purpose of it, right? So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. I play in here, I record in here. It is so awesome to be able to have that dedicated space. And I know you know that as well. So
it's great. Yeah, it's really, really good. So, and I'll have to do a kind of tour of my house when it's finally built. But we got a VR room in there as well, which is about 3x3, which is a nice sized room. So, and that's meters, not feet, Don. So yeah. No,
I know. I was gonna say
that would be weird.
I was gonna say 3x3 Wow, that's a tiny.
You're thinking feet.
I'm gonna rename your channel to VR Closet.
It's 1/8 of a hectare by 1/6 of a hectare. So okay.
This building right here is, I can only give it in feet because we're not cool like the rest of the world and use all that metric stuff and all stuff like that. But this building is 12 by 20, so it is 12 feet wide by 20 feet deep, which is 240 square feet.
That's good.
So
sounds very good.
So quite a bit without furniture for a nice little walk around in VR, but still got to walk around in that backyard, Chris. You got to try it.
I will definitely try that. I will definitely try it.
Just one more quick shout out to the chat here. I'm looking for a little input. Speaking of walking around in the backyard, I am contemplating starting a new cheesy ass series on my channel. You guys know I love those. Lunchtime with my Gear VR, VR on the go, the quest for VR. Why do I always have to have these cheesy titles? I don't know. But I started thinking about, the questing hour. So I'm thinking about starting a little series right outside the doors of the studio here, where I play some Oculus Quest titles in the backyard in yard scale. So if anybody be interested in seeing something like that, throw it in the chat, hit me up privately, show me a little support saying, that's something I'd watch, and that's something I may consider doing in the next couple.
You've inspired me to give it a go. I think maybe
you gotta give it a go. You gotta
the quest in the whole holodeck situation. I think that's definitely
got to try the holodeck.
Yeah,
got to try the holodeck.
So next week we're going to be like a real Brady Bunch situation here. So we're going to be using this Skype. So just in case you guys are interested to do your own podcast or do your own bit of streaming like this, and we're using something called Skype NDI, which means we can take individual video feeds and we can pump them into OBS. It actually works really, really well, as you can see, apart from the weird kind of glitch we had with the Echo earlier. Hopefully next week it should be ironed out and we'll have a kind of Brady Bunch situation going on. So we should have Caleb back. We hopefully have Billy. So we'll have like 4 little squares and everyone like looking at each other, and it'll be great. It'll be fantastic. So
and we'll all practice fist bumping in the corner.
Yeah. So. Let's try that again. Just go that way again. Fist bump. There you go. No, down, lower. That's it. You got it. Okay. I'll have to watch that back, see if that worked. So I don't think we've got any questions. I'm going to do one more shout out to Huck as well. Huck Z Overclocked, or Huck Z.
No, now it's not just a quadruple shout out, dude. That's going to break the internet.
No, I'm going to shout him out because you know what this guy's doing? He's actually flying over to the UK because he's coming over and doing a bit of a European tour with his family just on holiday.
Very cool.
And when he's in London, you know what he's done? He's rented out like a little pub area, and he's invited a load of YouTubers and people to come and meet with him and his son and hang out and talk VR, which is really cool. It's really nice. He's ordered a load of pizza and beer and stuff, and we're all going to hang out. So that's really good.
That is absolutely fantastic. Nice, we said that we kind of started out with a shout out, and we'll end it with a shout out. We were talking about Martin and being so positive in the VR community. Huck is another one, man. I mean, that guy is out there. He's like running GoFundMe's to help small YouTubers.
Yeah, that's really good.
So this guy is like really out there trying to foster more positivity in the community and to uplift people, who are trying to preach VR the way that we do. So shout out to you for doing that, buddy. That is awesome.
Yeah, great stuff. All right, we'll call it there. We don't have any more questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today to Just Us, just Don and Chris, the Don and Chris show, as we like to call it.
Yeah, I think it worked out.
It worked out. Yeah, it's good. It flows. we had stuff to talk about. That's good. And if you have things you want us to discuss, you got things you want to add to the agenda, tell us in advance. You know, we don't need much time to prepare. You know, tell us an hour before the show, either Twitter or
10
email.
minutes.
10 minutes is fine.
Yeah.
We'll do a little bit of research. And if there's a topic you want us to bring up, like a game you want us to talk about, a bit of hardware you want us to talk about, I'm sure we've either tried it or we've got an opinion about it. We're usually all over it. Or if you just want to know about motorbikes or Star Trek, we also know about that stuff too. So there you go.
Yep, lots of nerdy stuff going on this show.
Oh yeah.
VR and non-VR. So
absolutely. So we're going to call it there. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all very soon. Bye bye.